What is the best opening level in a Zelda game? And you can probably tell by the thumbnail my answer is Outset Island, so if you are in a hurry, feel free to skedaddle. But I'll explain my answer if you stick around, so feel free to grab some chips, maybe I recommend the barbecue chips, and enjoy. I made a video about how Kokiri Forest is an awesome starting level in the Ocarina of Time, and it made me ask the question, what is the best opening level in a Zelda game? I mean, they all are good, especially the 3D ones. I like Orden Village and I like Skyloft. They're both great, although they can take a bit long to get through. And many of the 2D ones are good as well. But I kept coming back to Outset Island when thinking of this answer. And I'll state it for the record, Outset Island is the best opening level for Zelda games. Also, Steven Seagal can suck a bundle of dicks. Those two statements feel very accurate and commonly agreed upon. But I'll dive more into Outset Island's statement today. So what does make it the best? I'll say that answer is based on two words, establishing and charming. This level does both those two topics quite well. Allow me to explain to you, and hope you got your chips ready. Perhaps grab a few napkins or two, because you don't want to get your computer or phone all that messy. Like we don't want you as disgusting as Steven Seagal. I'll start with the bigger theme from Outset Island, that it is establishing. Just like how Steven Seagal established himself as an awful human being, Outset Island established itself for how good of a game Wind Waker will be. And it's very effective with it because it establishes many different aspects. I'll start with the game controls. Any good game should allow the player to understand the controls right off the bat, as immediate as it gets. So the opening level is crucial for establishing this. Wind Waker does just that, with giving the player an item right away, a whole world to run around and swim in, characters explain the key controls like this old cranky guy, no not Steven, it's Orca who preaches Link on how to use the sword properly. It does not take that long until you're rolling to the woods, or going into grandma's house to steal her money, which, actually, that's pretty awful to be honest. Like, you don't know how to control everything, like how to use the boat comes later, but the game establishes the controls quite early on. And as I briefly talked about, it also establishes what kind of levels you will face in this game. It isn't much, but you do need to go to the woods to save a young pirate girl. You face some enemies about as pretty as Steven is. You have to navigate the woods to find Tetra, the pirate girl, who is dangling from a tree. And like, it's over in 5 minutes, which in some circumstances I would be pretty proud of. But for this scenario, it is fairly quick. That said though, it still achieves the main point as it establishes what kind of the levels are like. And the topic Outset Island best establishes is the story. In the forest, you save Tetra, who was just dropped off by a massive bird. This all happens in the first few minutes too, so obviously it creates a lot of questions that you want answers to. And after you save her, then your sister gets taken by the bird. You got to wonder why this bird has taken all these people. But more importantly, you want to save your sister back. The motivation for the entire game is set, and we've only just played 15 minutes of it. That's the same amount of time any human has sat through a Steven Seagal movie. It's quite impressive how quickly they establish the story. It works well too, as Link is willing to get a boat ride from pirates and basically die in order to save his sister. An opening level needs to establish what the game is about. And I say this level establishes what it needs and sets the stage for a great game. It does it in so many great ways. I know actors are on strike right now, but I think we all agree that Steven Seagal should probably never leave the strike. That would be quite charming. Which brings us to our next topic. Outset Island is a very charming level. I believe there's a few themes that work in an opening level for a video game. One that works, but doesn't necessarily make sense for Zelda, is kind of like a mysteriously creepy theme. If you do think of like maybe the good Resident Evil games, they always drop you off and you immediately kind of see some kind of creepy stuff going on, and you just have all these questions of what the heck is going on here. It lures you in. Zelda has Dead Hand and all, but, well, the mysterious creepy theme doesn't really work as well for kind of what the game Zelda is going to become. Charming is absolutely perfect for a game like this. The cartoonish graphics make you feel alive, silly, and charmed from the moment you see them. You have characters full of life, like your sister, and it makes for a good contrast when you have the most PG pirates you will ever see. The theme music is great as it helps build the charm. Even chasing the little piggies and throwing them in the water is charming. It's also amazing how Steven Seagal is in the game so early. So Outset Island is charming, and a charming game makes you want to play it. We're delighted, pleased by charming activities. We want more of them. Getting a taste of Outset Island's charm makes us want to indulge in more of it. Or at least that's the case for me. Maybe sickos like Steven Seagal can't really feel that charm. But oh well, that's his problem. For me, I enjoy it and it helps make Outset Island one of the best opening levels in all of Zelda. So if you're wondering how establishing and charming can lead to a terrific opening level, that is how. And Outset Island deserves the praise. It is a great level. And to be fair, opening Zelda levels, actually all Zelda levels, are generally great. But you know who isn't great? Steven Seagal.